Snake! Sorry. I'm reviewing Metal Gear Solid. Um, I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game before. Okay, that's a lie. I did play Metal Gear Solid 4 briefly. I rented it. I played it for a day. This is my first attempt to dive into the Metal Gear Solid franchise, and I figured, why not start with the beginning? I mean, I know it's not the first game in the series, but I do know that it is the first game on the PlayStation, and I decided to give it a shot. I'm going to throw this out here right here now. If you are a big fan of the Metal Gear Solid series, there are some harsh criticism points in this review. I did take issue with the game, and you might not like what I have to hear, or you might not like what you hear about it, you might not like what I say about it. So I'm sorry if I upset you in any way if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan. If you're not a fan of the game, I don't know. If you're not a fan, good for you, whatever. Moving on. The story. I like games for their story. That's one of the main things that I focus on whenever I play a game, depending on the genre of the game. But since most of the games I play are genres alike that have story, I like to know what the story is. Metal Gear Solid. Okay, this story is deep, or at least I think the attempt to make it deep is there. In fact, I think that it's overdone. Cutscenes up the yin yang. Hideo Kojima just pulls cutscenes out of his ass for this game. Although I like listening to the cutscenes, I like watching them. For crying out loud, even the codec, when you're talking to your contacts, everything is like a freaking paragraph. More than a paragraph. It's like a chapter of a book. Every time you talk to them, it's so much talk. And I think that's one of the main problems people have with this series is cutscenes are far too long. They're over the top. For instance, Square Enix is known for their beautiful cutscenes and CGI effects. Metal Gear Solid is known for the length of their cutscenes. Which, I didn't program this game, but it's a 2-disc game. I'm not surprised that it's 2 discs with how much talking is involved. But I digress. The story's fairly solid. I like the premise. I like the idea. I'm not much of a war person, per se. I'm not a fanatic of all that, war stories and military tactics and stuff like that, but this game was interesting, the story was interesting, and kept me captivated, enthralled. Let's see, I did see the major plot twist at the end. I totally saw it coming. I didn't know what was going to happen because I've never played the game before, but I had an inkling of being double-crossed. I had a feeling, and I'm going to spoil it for you, when you're supposed to go in to deactivate the already activated Metal Gear Rex, I kind of had a sneaking suspicion that I was really going to activate it myself. It wasn't activated, it was just a plot to get Snake to do it. And I totally kind of had that suspicion, and when it came true, I'm like, I knew it. I like how the game ended, at least for me, because I know there's an alternative ending. I got the good ending, so woo, good ending. Let's move on to the gameplay. The story's pretty fleshed out. It's very detailed, oh my god. But the story doesn't make the game. And in fact, this is where I have an even bigger criticism. Controls. My god. I gotta say right now, I'm not a fan of shooters. I'm not a fan of stealth games, per se. But the way that Metal Gear Solid goes about doing this, I didn't like. I didn't like how the aiming, sometimes you would aim directly towards an enemy and shoot them. Other times I have to directly aim it, and that's very aggravating. I didn't like being ambushed so much. Since I played Metal Gear Solid 4, I kind of have an idea of the cover system or the hiding kind of thing. I don't know what you would call it, but the idea of getting out of harm's way until you're no longer suspicious anymore. That took too long, and I got frustrated with that. Some of the things which had, again, stupid solutions that I just can't believe that I was so stupid to not realize. But I did enjoy the challenge of this game. Let's see. I didn't like that I had to fight bosses constantly. I would have preferred more of a story and less bosses or bigger boss fights than a lot of little aggravating boss fights. I liked fighting Revolver Ocelot. His boss fight seemed pretty simple, pretty easy. Raven was aggravating, but not too hard. I think his name's Cyborg Ninja. I don't remember because I just kind of wanted to get past him. Interesting. Sniper Wolf, definitely interesting. Liquid Snake was interesting. There's a whole bunch of bosses. Or Psycho Mantis, that was one of my favorites. The game makes the gameplay difficult. And when I'm playing a game like this, I want a game that I can control fluidly. There are so many things you could do. Lay on the floor, crouch down. It was very difficult. Or, press up against the wall. There's so many things you could do. It got convoluted at times, especially when you press the wrong button at the wrong time, at the worst case possible, whatever. It's just, you don't want to, be trying to get away because you've been spotted. You don't want to, crouch down and flatten down because then you're going to get shot. I had a lot of time, pain. Oh, it drove me insane, the Sniper Wolf fights, the sniping. I know that I could take those little pill things that stop the shakiness of the camera, but trying to snipe and do this, and it's aggravating. I haven't played the other games in the series, so I don't know if they improved upon the gameplay, but it drove me crazy. But in a game like this, the story and the gameplay are all that it's made up of, and I guess, that's what I'm going to have to review this game on. If I had to give this game a score, I would give it, despite all my harsh criticisms, an 8 out of 10. It's not a bad game. It's just not my cup of tea. I liked it for the most part, but I would probably never play it again, ever. I'm not going to be interested in playing the other games. It was an interesting venture into a different genre of game that I don't play that often, and it's interesting to see where all the hype comes from. I think it is hyped, and it's overhyped, but I think that the fans who like it are probably worthy of their praise. So, Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation 1 gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Later.